Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of League One Talk. I'm joined by whole host of guests tonight, Mitchell Guest, a Sheffield United fan, my co-host, Jack, Sunderland fan, Matty, Bolton fan, and also Ben, our Rotherham fan. Guys, welcome to the show this evening.
Hi.
So, Jack, we're going to start with you. First of all, welcome to the show, mate. Sunderland fan, what's your first thoughts of the season going into the last game of the season tomorrow?
It's been a tough season, but I think we've got it in the bag of playoffs this year. After League One sacking, we went a bit down here after the Bolton game. That was just, I'm not going to dive into that. That was embarrassing. Just being a Sunderland fan watching that was just embarrassing. But the season's been all right. It's better than I expected. I thought we wouldn't even get playoffs with teams like Sheffield Wednesday in the league, Portsmouth, they look decent, Ipswich. But we've got playoffs at the moment, in my opinion. Hopefully we'll win it.
Yeah, it's been a good season for you guys so far. What's been your best player of the season?
Dan Neil, in my eyes, he's just holding that midfield, controlled every game that he's played. He's done what he needed to do. He's done better than most of our midfielders the past couple of years that we've had. He's something that we've been missing in the midfield.
And also your worst player of the season?
Oh, God. I'm going to go with Jay Mattetti from Fleetwood, who got on permanent deal. He started off with one or two good games, and he can't control the ball. He can't pass. He can't tackle. He loves a big tackle, but he can't do anything on the pitch. He's non-league standard for me.
Fair enough. Player that surprised you this season, so a player that you didn't really expect to do well, but has done so far.
I'm going to go Corey Evans. I never liked him from Blackburn last season when he was in the Championship. I thought he was going to come in and just do nothing, but he's actually done decent. He's had a load of criticism from the Sunderland fans this year, but none of the Sunderland fans seen what he can actually do on the pitch. He always comes into the defence when Dial runs out of the defence, so he covers everyone's back. So yeah, he's done decent.
Yeah, and also final question at the moment: your team that surprised you this season?
MK Dons. I wouldn't expect them to be top three at the moment. Not at all.
Yeah, they've had a good season so far. Mitch, what about you, mate? You know, Sheffield fan, you've done well this season. We're not going to go into the Cambridge game away at all. Who's been your team of the player of the season?
It's got to be between three players, in my opinion. Peacock Farrell, for one. If it weren't for him, we would more likely consider a lot more goals. Put out some quality penalty saves as well, including one early in the season against Rotherham. Barry Bannon scores some quality goals, as we've witnessed a few weeks, not long ago either. Not long ago either against MK Dons, won the EFL goal of the season, also in League One team of the season. But in my opinion, Bannon has to be it. Out of them two, Bannon has to be it.
And also, did you predict Sheffield to finish in the playoffs, or was you expecting automatics or even the title? Was you not expecting a good season at all?
Well, to say that we had a transfer embargo come the start of the season and could only sign three transfers and loans, I still predicted us to win the league. Obviously, we're currently fourth. We was top until early in the season when we lost to Morecambe. And after that, we just had a downfall, mid-table at one point, back into the playoffs. But we underperformed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think for me personally, when we played Sheffield at home or home to you away at the Cambridge Fan, it was the best performance I've seen all season from your guys, and it was just a very disappointing game as a Cambridge Fan. But the team that surprised you the most this year?
Team that surprised me the most? I'd say MK Dons as well. I think at the start of the season, I predicted MK Dons to be outside the playoff, but to be third, real achievement for them. If they go up as well, fair play to them.
It's been a good season for MK Dons, and really, you know, with Twinny and a lot of good front players and good defence as well.
Yeah,
it's been a very good season for them, and overall, just a very, they could finish in top 3 tomorrow and get automatics in a very good last day of the season. But Mitch, I'll hand you over now to the next set of questions.
Right. So, Matt.
Hello.
Who has been your player of the season for Bolton this season?
Again, it's between a few. Afolayan, Santos, and James Trafford. Because Trafford came in January, and he's just completely turned. He's obviously a goalkeeper. He's absolutely fantastic. Before that, we had Joel Dixon. He was just conceding goals from everywhere. Let's be honest. And obviously Afolayan, he's just. It's hard to explain it. I'm not very good at talking, but yeah, he's a really, really good player. He scores goals. He wins fouls all over the pitch. What other player did I say? I forgot now. Sorry.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Sorry, Santos. Yeah, Santos has been a rock at the back. He has been for the last 2 seasons. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I should know this as well. It was a big that obviously goalkeeper Trafford, big key factor in Bolton getting a draw against us a few weeks ago. Yeah. If it weren't for him, I reckon we could have beat you at least 3-4-0.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you've seen Fogden, people will say Fogden's twin.
Yeah.
Who's been your worst player of the season?
Joel Dixon, the goalkeeper we had. Obviously, he just made too many mistakes. I mean, he's only young, so he's learning. But yeah, for me, I don't like him. I haven't liked him since the start of the season. So I'm glad that we got Trafford in the end, sort of thing.
Dixon was also in the Sunderland academy as well. Absolutely dog crap.
But your player of the season, not player of the season, most improved player of the season.
MJ Williams. He pings balls around everywhere, crossing, and he gets a lot of stick, from Bolton fans at times. But he's been consistent every game. He just pings balls 40 yards, and in fact, he scored against you a few weeks ago. But that was actually his first goal for the club, But yeah.
And the player that has surprised you this season so far?
Surprised me. Declan John. Like Santos, he's been an absolute rock in defence. So yeah.
Declan John, yeah?
Yeah.
Ben, you there?
Yes.
Your best player for Rotherham this season?
It's definitely got to be Michael Smith, because I don't know how he's done it, but to achieve that many goals in a season, he's absolutely just dominated our squad. He's just been one of those players Michael Smith overall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he scored, I think it was 2 goals when you came down to Hillsborough, I think it was, or at your ground. When he scored 2 goals in a 2-0 win over us. What about your worst player of the season then?
Well, obvious candidate. I know many people might disagree with me on this one, but Freddie Ladapo, because he's not. I think he's just not performing
as you would think.
Yeah.
Okay. Your most improved Rotherham player of the season?
I think it's got to be Shields of Bene, because he's really put the squad together, especially in the midfield and all that. And when he scored at I think he scored at Wembley. He just lights the team up, and he's the best player that we've that we've improved so far this season.
Okay. One more question for you for now. Did you predict Rotherham to finish higher or lower in the table than what you are now?
I think second is where we want to be. You know, I think if we do go up, I think we need to have the players that can stay in the Championship. We don't want another relegation again. We don't want us to be back in League One in 2 years' time. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Pass you on to Callum then.
So kind of a question to everyone really, just an open question anyone can answer, what kind of game are you looking forward to the most tomorrow? There's a lot of, teams that still go down, the Fleetwood and Wimbledon and Gillingham. There's a lot of teams that could move around, Rotherham will still win the league tomorrow. MK Dons can still still get top two. It's a very open final day, which makes it even more exciting. What, your thoughts? Did you really expect it to be this close at the end of the season, or a bit more farther away?
I'd love to see Wigan bottle it. I'd rather see MK Dons go off, as you can imagine. But obviously, it's close, isn't it?
When we played Wigan the other week, I wasn't that impressed. I was more impressed by Sheffield than Wigan this year, personally. And same with Rotherham. And it's like, I didn't really expect, Wigan to be top and still being top. And it's a very weird time. I think not time, but more of a weird situation for Wigan, because they didn't really seem to deserve it, personally, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like when Wednesday played them twice this season, we beat them twice, obviously. They just, in my opinion, they just didn't feel like they wanted to actually be in the game. It's like they've not played how they should be, being top of the league.
I can't say much because they beat us 4-0 like at home, but
We're gonna not go good. Even like 3 to 4 times this season. Start of the season in the cup and then 4-3. Look, nothing special. Absolutely nothing special.
What do you guys reckon? Like, how do you reckon they're up top? Because they're top for a reason, but we were saying we didn't really expect them and weren't really impressed. How do you reckon they're up top?
Look,
I just think that when it came to New York on that Friday night, I think that it was an even game. But how did it finish 1-1? I never know. At the time, we were 10 points clear at the top of the league. We were winning away with it, but it's come down to this now. When I thought Wigan in the last couple of weeks were going to absolutely fly the league and they're going to win title, but I don't know how they've seemed to bottle it recent weeks, to be honest.
Is he there?
He seems to break up.
Right, 2 seconds. Let me just see where he's gone. So it looks like it's still recording. So what is your predictions for next season then, lads? When if say Sunderland, Rotherham, Wednesday, 2 of us go up, what's your predictions for next season, whether you're in the Championship or League One?
If Sunderland and the Championship, we're going straight back down. There's not enough investment going to come in for next season. We've got 3 owners, Donald, Dreyfus, and Charlie Method. There's no way Dreyfus is going to buy 100% of the club. There's absolutely no way of it. We're going straight back down. If we're in League One next season, it's going to be another probably playoffs run. But we're nowhere near going to get top 2 next season if we're staying in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I've noticed about Sunderland as well, when I've been watching Sunderland games, even though Wednesday was in Championship, is Sunderland do bottle the playoffs a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think history could repeat itself this season and possibly bottle the playoffs up again?
I think, in my opinion, we can get to the playoff final. Whoever we get in the playoffs, I think we can beat on our day. We can go there and beat anyone on the day. We're proving it for Sheffield Wednesday. We're proving against the 5-0 win. We're proving that we can do it. If we get to the playoff final again, there's going to be too much pressure on the players. I think we're going to bottle it in the playoff final again. There's too much pressure for the players.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if obviously you're somehow drop points to Morecambe, Plymouth or Wycombe wins, we win. You go down to 6, which would more likely mean, you'd dodge Sheffield Wednesday in the semis. More likely to play either Rotherham or MK Dons in the semis.
Personally, I want to dodge Sheffield Wednesday because I know how well they can play. They showed it against the 3-0 win against Wayne the first time round in the season. We can easily beat Wycombe on our day and easily beat MK Dons on our day. We just don't like showing it sometimes.
Okay. Callum's back now anyways. What about you then, Ben?
Well,
Where do you think you'll finish next season if you, say, go up to Championship or stay in League One?
20. I think if we stay, no, if we go up to Championship, I think 21st place or 20th. First, I think we have got the capable in the squad, but I think we just need to get some good transfers in the summer. And then if we did stay in League One, I think we'll finish first. I think we've got the squad in League One to actually win the title, but not actually bottle it. You know what I mean? But I'm just hoping for us to stay in the Championship next season. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, if you stay in League One this season, make sure you don't bottle a 10-point lead at top.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your prediction on where Bolton finish next season then in League One?
I reckon we'll get playoffs next season. As long as we actually start playing from the start of the season, not January like we do every year. But
yeah,
I reckon we've got stuff in place now. The owners got plans and putting investment in and stuff like that. So, but like I said, if we can get hold of James Trafford, which is going to be difficult because now he's impressed. Other clubs are looking at him even. You've heard of Marlon Fossey, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, if we can get hold of him as well. Obviously, he's gone back to Fulham now because he got injured. Then I really do think we'll get playoffs. But whether we'll bottle it or not, I don't know. But we'll see.
Now, I know Bolton are a big side. Yeah, they are. They're a big side like Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Portsmouth, Rotherham for this league, Wigan. And ideally, those big sides don't deserve to be in League One.
No.
Like, I know Bolton's here because of their owners. Wednesday's here because of our owner. Got us a point section last season in Championship. I know Wigan, I think they're here because of their owners. I think Charlton are here because obviously something happened in Championship with point deduction for some teams and that. Like Derby next season, they're here because of obviously a point deduction. So they'll be in League One next season. Barnsley as well. But yeah, Callum, coming on to you then. Where do you think Cambridge will finish next season?
It could be a mixture of two, in my opinion. I think, in my opinion, we've done really well this year, and chance to get top half tomorrow could be a real big achievement for little old Cambridge. But we could either go, upwards, or we could have second season syndrome where we, slip down and we lose a few key players, which we don't want. But for me, I think, we've got a good young manager, a good young squad. I can see us, staying around the same place, maybe 10th to next year, a few more wins, and we could have been 10th this year. And it was a point where we were, and it's going to be tough. But I think, with the squad and the ideas that Mark Bonnet's got as a manager and a club going forward and everything, I can see us getting top half again next year. So I'd say around the same place for next year. I think consistency is the key for us, and I think any promoted team would want that as well, considering it's our first time in League One for 20 years.
Yeah. Now, for obviously me and Sheffield Wednesday, I reckon we'll go up via playoffs. I 100% do. I reckon whoever we get in the semi-finals, we can beat over two legs. especially at Hillsborough. One thing a team does not want to play against us in the semi-final first leg is at Hillsborough, knowing we've only lost 2 games at Hillsborough all season. Second best record in all of England behind Liverpool. We've even got a better home record this season than Man City, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal. So I reckon we'll win that comfortably first leg. We're at home first leg, win it comfortably. The only part that I'm not confident in is say we've got Sunderland semi-final and we go to the Stadium of Light. I will not be confident first leg because we've got a shocking away form. But if we go up, I reckon we've got that squad who is a proven championship squad. I reckon we go up the season, we'll be in a playoff battle next season, championship.
It's a bold statement, mate.
I was thinking the same.
I'll say that now, and it'll come back and up, and we'll mess up playoff final and then be in a relegation battle next season. I'll say that, and it'll come back and up, man. I'll pass the next set of questions on to Callum then.
So, Jack, Sunderland's. Are you predicting to stay? Like, what's your hope for next year? And really, what would you say to improve the squad? Where are the key areas you want the team to improve?
In my opinion, we need a new goalkeeper, just completely. We've had one good keeper in the past 4 years, and that was the first season in League One. Other than that, we've had not many good. Hoffman hasn't been good enough this season. Cost were mostly the 6 goals against Bolton, the 5 goals against Rotherham, mostly his fault. The defence, Bailey Wright needs to go. Callum Doyle, hopefully bring him back on loan again. He's been mental with this season. But it's just goalkeeper and probably another striker to back up Stewart. That's all we need for next season. We should be solid.
You could take Callum Patterson off us if you want.
Nah. I'll be all right with someone from the championship. As
long as we don't lose league, Greg, I'll be fine.
Nah, he's too slow. We need someone pacey. We've got too many slow strikers.
Like, what kind of, you say playoffs next year, what kind of improvements do you want from the team going into next year? And same kind of question, where if you could improve position, you mentioned your goalkeeper's been improved already this year. Where else would you want to see being improved?
Just mostly everywhere, to be honest. The recruitment this year hasn't even been good enough to even get a chance of top 2. It's just not bringing too many young players and no experienced players, and we need a lot more experienced players who are proven to go up with another League One team and who's proven to stay up in the championship. That's all we need is some experience in the whole team. It'll be good enough if we go up this season, but I'm absolutely rocking it for the playoff semi-final, scared as hell we'll get.
It's going to be interesting because I think it'll still be 3 or 4 teams, and that home leg going into it would be a real, whoever would want the home leg first and the away leg second. But Matty, with Bolton, where do you see improvements, mate? Because you said goalkeepers got improved during over the year. Sorry, to reach that playoffs for next year, where in the position would you like to see improved?
Just the defence, but obviously we've done that already, sort of in January. But midfield as well, maybe a few more, maybe faster players. But to come up from League 2 and finish, we can finish 10th tomorrow. I can't see us finishing 9th because I think the goal difference between us and Portsmouth is too much. But I think we've got a really solid team now. Especially our home form as well. It's one of the best in the league at the moment. So, yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, and you mentioned, it was League 2 last year as well. It was a slow start, again, last year, and you managed to get 3rd. Again, This year was another slow start. What, do you reckon the reasons are these slow starts? Do you reckon it's players adapting to the team or just adapting to a new league again?
Yeah, I think it was that. And then, obviously, some of them just weren't good enough. But we had, an embargo for so long as well. So it was hard to actually bring players in. They all had to be loans. So we had to, start again, down from League 2 and that. But, like I said, if we had started off with this team at the start of the season, I really do think we'd be right up there. It's a shame, really, but I would have taken staying up at the start of the season, and anything else was a bonus. Now I'm gutted that we haven't made playoffs. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, we can't, it's been an interesting ride for Bolton, really, having being in League Two last year and not having the best to start and thinking, oh God, I know at one point you were near the relegation of League Two, December time, I think it was last year, and really surprising to me seeing you guys down there and we were at the top. It was such a weird position to be in, but then, with Rotherham, you kind of a bit of a yo-yo team to Championship to League One.
Yeah.
What do you reckon is the key to staying a Championship team and progressing instead of having season league, a bit like a Norwich of the Championship and Premier League, really?
Yeah. We just need to bring in more players. I think just to strengthen our squad. I think what Paul Warner's done for us in 5 or 4 years, that he has stayed with us through thick and thin. When we went up, I think it was when COVID struck. I think we just need Championship players. Keep half the squad, and then I think we should be fine next year. I think that would be a perfect. The secret is to a Rotherham Championship campaign is we survived 3 years in the Championship a long time now, and I think if we've got the squad now that can do it. I believe that we can do it.
It's hopefully, I'm sure the title is still in reach tomorrow and everything, so it'll be an interesting day for you guys tomorrow. So Mitchell, next set of questions over to you, mate. Make sure you're there, mate.
Yeah, go on.
No, that's right. Next set of questions over to you.
What coming to you, Jack? What's been your best moment as a Sunderland fan this season?
Oh, I'm going to the 5-0 Wednesday win. I'm sorry, that was just one of the best games I've had this season.
I was expecting the Cambridge win.
No, you were down to 10 men. There's no what we can do. The Sheffield Wednesday will just rip you apart, just one by one. And I went, if we can do that in the playoffs, I'm sorry to say it's Wednesday League One again. Especially because I think the first leg, for us being in fifth, will be at home for the first leg. I think it's confirmed to be home for us for the first leg if we stay in fifth. So if we can go to that stadium like in front of 30-odd thousand Sunderland fans and just shouting the heads off to the players, we'll get an easy 3-4-1 victory at home against them. We've shown it, we can rip them apart, absolutely embarrass them in front of their own fans. We'll go to Hillsborough, sit back, probably just to be a boring bunch of a team and for a 0-0 draw against them to frustrate them.
The only thing is about coming to Hillsborough, though, is no teams want to sit back against us at Hillsborough. Because we will attack and attack and attack, and we'll end up finding a way for that defence. Next question then. What has been your worst moment this season as a Sunderland fan?
Between the 5-1 Rotherham with the 6-0 Bolton, I don't know which one to go for. I'm going to have to go with the 6-0 Bolton because that was just embarrassing. Like, no offence to Bolton, losing to Bolton is worse than losing to Portsmouth. It's like, no offence to Bolton, but we should have easily won that. An attacking lineup, which didn't score. They got all the goals.
Okay, so coming to you again, Jack, your best signing of the season.
It's a hard one. I'm between a couple of players. I'm between Alex Pritchard, Danny Bath. To be honest, he's been solid at the back since he came in January. I'm going to have to go with Pritchard because every time he's shown he's on the ball, he's got the quality. He's not a League One player at all. Not at all. He's shown that he's got even a top side could take him on and you would do something at them. He's shown real quality at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think I know what you're going to say with this one, next one. But your worst signing of the season?
I'm going to say Jay Matete again. Absolutely diabolical of a player. How have we scouted him from Fleetwood and then being classed by their supporters as a good player, coming to us and looking like a rip-off eBay version of N'Golo Kante? Just no. Just not.
I thought you, with the way you was going on earlier, I thought you were going to say Jack Clark.
Oh, don't get us started on Jack Clark, Dean. Please. Please don't. He's one of the
Coming to you
worst
next.
players I've seen.
Yeah, coming to you next, Matt. Your best signing of the season?
Again, James Trafford. It's got to be there. It's got to be him.
Kept you in a few games this season, in my opinion, as well. Like I said earlier, Sheffield Wednesday game. If it weren't for him, who knows what the score could have been? It could have been. It could have been a score line where your beat Sunderland 6-0, I think it was.
Yeah.
Again, like Jack, your worst signing of the season.
Worst signing of the season.
Do you know what? I can't even pick one out because they've all been brilliant. I can't remember if we signed Joe Dixon this year. I'm pretty sure we did. If it was this season, which I can't remember, my memory's not amazing. It's got to be him.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I can't really pick anyone out because they've all been brilliant. So, yeah.
Okay. Coming to you now, Ben. Your best signing of the season?
Well, I don't know any that we've had this season. I think. Oh shit.
You there, Ben? Ben, you there?
If you just keep it rolling, mate, we'll just edit this out.
Yeah. Right, coming to you then, Callum. As you're back now, your best Cambridge signing of the season?
Oh, there's been a few signings this year. I'm going to say, for me personally, George Williams. I think right back, we lost Cole Nall to Doncaster at the start of the season. And that was a big blow for us. And we kind of were thinking how we would replace him, especially he was in the League 2 team of the season last year. And coming up, quality was definitely, League 1 proven right back. And
yeah,
start of the season wasn't really my pick at the first. Watching a few pre-season games, he wasn't ideal. But you watch him now and the way he just leads the team, he's quite old as well. I think he's about 28, 29. So he's getting older in his career, but he's still one of the best players on the pitch. He runs forward, overlaps really well. And I think it's a very good, experienced player to have at the back and has really improved our back line this year. But also an honourable mention to James Brophy as well. I think came in from Leyton Orient, really a bit more of a wild card. And I think, his pace and, in my opinion, one of the best signings we've made all year. So his pace and dribbling and tracking back's brilliant.
Yeah, is that Brophy?
Yeah, James Brophy, yeah.
Yeah, I think I can remember watching Cambridge versus Newcastle. I think it was in the FA Cup when you beat them 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, at St James's Park, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Brophy really played well that game as well, in my opinion. I think didn't he get the winning goal?
No, so Ironside got the goal.
Ironside.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brophy, in my opinion, Brophy did
Sorry
play
about
well.
that.
Anyway, I'll come back to you in a minute, Ben. Anyways, Callum, your worst signing of the season?
We haven't. I don't know, there's not been a key person I don't think's done well in our start. I think all the players we kind of brought in I think because we brought him in permanently, I count him as a new signing, is Charlo Tracy. He started the season quite well. And, he scored a few goals and has got pace going forward, but he doesn't track back, I think, as well as other wingers that we have do.
Yeah.
And personally, he just isn't really, he should have, he played against Charlton the other week and really should have scored 1 or 2 minimum, in my opinion, that night. And he just doesn't really offer anything apart from his pace, in my opinion. And he's a good substitution, I think, it might be a player to have, but disappointing. He had quite high hopes coming into the season. So I think for me, he's going to have to be sadly the most disappointing player of this year, but he's not been that bad, but he's still not been the player we suspected him to be.
Okay. Coming back to you then, Ben. You there?
So yeah, go on.
So coming back onto you for these 2 questions, your best signing of the season for Rotherham.
Well. We've had a few people on loan, so I think sometimes he hasn't played a lot this season, but I think he has. I think Will Grigg has been the best loan signing that we've ever that we've had because he's just. I never thought in the only years that I supported Rotherham he was going to be one. I never thought we were going to sign Will Grigg. Never, ever. But we've signed him, and he's played well for us this year. He's played well for us this year.
Okay. And your worst signing of the season for Rotherham?
I think I've got to go for Georgia Kelly because he hasn't played so far this year. We've bought him, but we haven't seen him play this year. So he hasn't played, but I would like to see him progress at our club. I think he's got potential, but he's been the worst because he just hasn't gone into the squad yet. So yeah.
Okay. Now enough for me on Wednesday. Best signing of the season is either between, I'd say, who's going to say now? Pick up for all. Who we signed this season. We signed Jordan Storey in January, Harley Dean in January. I believe, we signed Cedar Berahino, who's starting to score goals now. George Byers. I think Marvin Johnson. We signed, anyways, Mendes Lang. Signed quite a lot of players. Now, early in the season, if it was worst signing season, I'd possibly have said Marvin Johnson because just didn't like how he was playing. I can't remember. I don't know who to say for the worst signing of the season now, though. I don't know. But player of the season, signing of the season, should say, Peacock. If, like I said, we need to sign him permanently in the season, at the end of the season before we either in League One next season or Championship. We just need to snap him up before he goes to someone else, or probably get that Burnley number 1. Pass next set of questions on to Callum then.
Yeah, so just the last few questions for me, guys. So kind of an open question to everyone again. Who's been, the team that you want to go up out of the playoffs? So your top 3 teams to go up, and then also the teams to get relegated, and that's not including Doncaster and Crewe.
Oof. Do you want to go first, Matt?
Did you say teams to go up?
Yeah, so your top 2, automatics,
playoffs.
title and playoffs.
And then relegation.
I'd like to actually see Rotherham go up, obviously. Wigan, obviously not. MK Dons, I don't mind them. Sheffield Wednesday, actually. I know I take the mick a lot, but no, I wouldn't mind seeing Sheffield Wednesday win the playoffs. But again, there's a lot of teams in this league that I don't even mind. You know what I mean? It's not like a rivalry. I like the only team that I obviously dislike is Wigan. But yeah.
What about you?
In my opinion, Wigan, Rotherham. I'd like them to go up. I'm not even going to be biased and say I want Sunderland to go up. In my opinion, I'd like to see Plymouth. There's someone different in that championship role than defeating teams like Sheffield Wednesday. It'd be nice to see them go up and see how they can actually do in the championship and what players to bring in. It'd be interesting.
Well,
I forgot to say as well. Sorry, Doncaster. I did enjoy them going down because of when we went into I don't know if you remember when we went into administration.
yeah, so I would like to see Wigan go up. I think us obviously, and I think Sheffield Wednesday. I think we should have 2 South Yorkshire teams back in the Championship. And I honestly think that because Sheffield Wednesday, they have surprised me this season sometimes. But I think my top 3 are Wigan, Rotherham, and Sheffield Wednesday. I think I would take that. I would seriously take that.
Okay, then. What about you then, Callum?
I think for me, Rotherham are going to win the league. Wigan are on a downward spiral at the moment, and
Yeah.
I think Rotherham are a much better team than Wigan this year. So I think we're going to get second. MK Dons to get third. And then playoffs, I'm going to go for someone. I'm going to say Wickham. I think a team that just unfortunately got relegated last year in the final day.
Yeah.
In my opinion, have done brilliantly well this year and just keeping up there. And I think Gareth Hamer has done an absolutely wonderful job there, and he clearly loves the club, and the fans love him as well. But I think the final, in my opinion, is going to be Sheffield versus Wickham. That's my final prediction. And either team, I don't mind going. I think Sheffield are really the best team I've seen play this year. But yeah, I think it's going to be a close playoffs, and then teams go down. I'm going to say Gillingham just because I quite like Fleetwood as a club and them kind of a smaller team. I know Gillingham are, but it's just a nicer thing. So I think the final 3 is going to be how it is at the moment. Mitchell, what about you?
For me, obviously, knowing that all 3 teams got relegated, like Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, and Wickham all got relegated on final day last season. Obviously, if it weren't for that Martin Wagon penalty, we would still be in the Championship. But this season, I'd say Wigan will win the league. I know Matt sat there thinking no.
Unfortunately, you're probably right, yeah, to be honest.
I think Wigan will win the league. Rotherham, as much as I'd love them to mess it up and lose to Gillingham whilst MK Dons win, unfortunately for me, I reckon Rotherham will finish second. MK Dons will finish third. I reckon because of our home form this season, we'll finish fourth. I reckon we'll beat Portsmouth tomorrow. Fifth. I reckon that'll be Sunderland. So that would set up a Sheffield Wednesday Sunderland semi-finals. And then, like I said, I reckon Wickham will be 6th. And then going into the playoffs, so obviously I've had Wigan, Rotherham up automatically. I'd say my own team, but if we end up going out of semi-finals or don't win it, I'd like Wickham to go up, just because, obviously, like your reason as well, Gareth Ainsworth has done a wonder job at Wickham. And then to go down, obviously, we know Crewe's relegated, Doncaster's relegated. I think Wimbledon are relegated.
I don't
I
think
think
Not unless there's a swing.
Oh, so they're not relegated.
There's a real possibility that they will go down.
They've got
There's
a
real possibility.
tiny chance, but I can't see
And then
them.
who are the other teams down there then?
Gillingham.
Morecambe, Fleetwood, Gillingham.
Yeah.
Morecambe's got a chance of going down as well.
I reckon. Do you know what? I reckon Fleetwood stay up by goal difference. I know I said before, obviously we started here. Gillingham, I reckon they'll get stuff against Rotherham, and I still stick to that. I reckon they will. But I don't think that'll be enough. I reckon they'll go down. So
Well,
I reckon
the
Gillingham
thing
will
is,
go down.
if Gillingham get a point and we beat Fleetwood, that's Fleetwood down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it will be. My gut feeling is saying Gillingham get something.
Yeah.
But being realistic, I don't think they will. So I reckon Gillingham will go down on goal difference.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close thing. I think Gillingham are kind of, Gillingham have got everything to do, and Fleetwood and Morecambe are kind of a bit more safe than everything. But, I think that's all we've got time for this evening, guys. Thanks, for everyone for joining. And, we'll do these most weeks, and we'll do predictions of the league table once we know the final picture, hopefully next month, and the release date as well for the fixtures. But, yeah, that's all. Thanks guys for joining.
And obviously, going into playoffs, we'll do it again then. And get people's playoff predictions and who will win the playoffs.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming on, by the way.
Cheers.
Thank you.